flips, and although they resulted in shooting one of my clients in the knee and purchasing myself a pair of cement overshoes I'd been fitted for on Hellgate Bridge, well, the rest of my experiences were boring by comparison. Cheating spouse cases and missing pets mostly, with a few workers' compensation and commercial background checks thrown in to mix things up a bit. If I had my way, my workdays would more resemble a Humphrey Bogart movie, at the very least an episode of the Rockford Files. But as I was coming to learn, many things were prone not to go my way, including my almost wedding 6 months ago, and the fact that I hadn't seen Man of Mystery bounty hunter Jake Porter in at least 4 weeks, much less slept with him like I wanted. More important, at the moment, this ballgame wasn't going the way I'd like. But at least I was there, while the majority of my fellow Queens residents were at home, watching the game on TV. I looked at Waters, who had just taken a bite of a hot dog, a thick smear of mustard standing out on his dark brown skin. Okay, maybe it wasn't all that. "What?" he asked when he caught me staring. I ignored a waiter that tended to the gold and silver sections. A waiter at a ball game, go figure. And handed Waters my own napkin and pointed to the general area of his unshaven chin. I turned my attention back to the field to find Beltran walking back to the dugout and Reni Venezuela stepping up to the plate. I was immediately on my feet as his music cue blasted over the speakers and his clip ran on the Diamond Vision display screen alongside his stats and picture. I clapped in time with the beat. "Go, Reni! Knock it out of the park!" I cheered, my voice lost in a sea of the tens of thousands of others. Ah, yes, Reni Venezuela, the Mets' latest midseason acquisition and former Long Island Islanders' closing pitcher. It wasn't just that he was a pitcher, it was that he was a damn good ambidextrous pitcher. In baseball, you heard of switch hitters, but this was the first time, that I knew of anyway, recall my sunny day fan status, I'd heard of a switch pitcher, although I understand there was one that played for the Expos back in the 90s. Reni was equally good pitching with his left arm as his right, and he was to credit for the Mets' turn of good fortune this year. And that wasn't saying anything about his dreamy good looks. Lately, it was all I could do to keep the agency's office manager, Rosie Rodriguez, from swooning whenever his name was brought up or was mentioned on the portable radio she kept on her desk to follow the team's games. I imagined the endorsement contracts Reni was accumulating that put him on billboards and posters everywhere advertising sports drinks and even underwear, especially affected her, along with every other living, breathing female in the tri-state area. Not that Rosie thought she stood a chance with him, even if they were to cross paths, a long shot to be sure since she'd never been to a game. The Venezuela native was happily married to an Astoria girl, and they had 2 great kids. Just about perfect if you were into jocks, which I, most assuredly, had never been, but Reni had a pretty good shot at changing all that. If he just hit the damn ball. "Strike 2! Swing the goddamn bat already!" I shouted, not at all amused by my own behavior. One minute I was cheering him on, the next I was dissing him. Welcome to my life. If I could just make up my mind on myriad topics, I'd probably have an easier time of it. "Strike 3, you're out!" A stream of profanity that not even I knew I possessed, and probably hadn't said in the whole of my life, exited my mouth, shocking both me and Waters, who'd added more mustard to the smear already on his chin. He sat gaping at me in a way that revealed he didn't chew his food particularly well. The ump I had been taunting for the past hour and a half turned toward me. He lifted his protective mask and stalked toward me until only the fence behind home plate separated us. "You're out of here!" 20 minutes later, Waters glared at me where we'd both been escorted to Gate C. "What?" I grumbled. We'd listened as the best part of the game played out during our expulsion, the Mets coming back in the bottom of the 9th to pull the game out 7-5, 1 game closer to the playoffs. And I was standing in the parking lot with an unhappy Waters. "I'm not sure you deserve to meet Venezuela," he said. "Hey, I figure I'm due." "What? I did what all good fans do." "Get kicked out of the game?" "No, support my guys." "Support like that gives all New Yorkers a bad name." "Are you going to take me back in or not?" "Not."